Okay, so we're looking at reaction graphs or reaction profiles, I think they're called, and trying to understand what they are in terms of activation energy and what all these different things mean. So, whenever you have a reaction, you're going to have, let's say, for example, carbon plus oxygen, and then it's going to react to produce, in this example, maybe carbon dioxide. Now, inside the carbon and the oxygen, they have energy inside them, and well, it would take energy to break the bonds. In this case, you only have to break up the O bond, so what you're going to have to do is give it some energy to break that bond, and that we refer to as the activation energy. So that gets it up to this point here. You've given it this much energy, and then it gets to what it's called the transition state, and then it dumps all that energy afterwards. Now, if the amount of energy that it drops, that it loses, which is then given to the surroundings, if that amount of energy is actually so if it gives, okay, let me just say that again. If it drops to a lower amount to when it started, so it's got less energy afterwards than it did at the start, then the excess, which would be in this graph, is going to be, let's draw that again, this amount here. Then that amount is given to the surroundings. So this graph would be an exothermic graph. Okay. So what does this energy actually mean? What is this energy? Basically, it's the amount of energy that's inside of it. So it has some, and then it has a little bit more because I've given it some, and then it loses loads as it turns into products. So that's one exothermic reaction. Now, this is the activation energy for. Well, this is the reaction profile for an endothermic reaction. It starts off with a certain amount of energy. You have to give it a load, and then it drops off. But then the amount that the products actually have more energy than the reactants. So that means it absorbed energy. So this amount here, this is the amount that was absorbed. So this is an endothermic reaction. Now, this is a really good activity. It's for using Miro tools. So for this software here, Miro. So for example, how did I get this axis here? Well, if I tap L, I get a line, and then I can draw it. But the trouble is, it keeps wanting to connect to things. If I want to just draw a vertical line, I want to hold on to Shift, and then it makes it go vertical like that. Okay, yeah, and then I tap L again, start drawing a line, and then hold on to Shift, and it snaps it to the horizontal axis like that. Now, I probably want to try to lock that. So there we go. I'll lock that. I'll lock that. That was a little, I don't quite know what happened there. I'm still trying to work out that bit. But now we want to, how can we draw this more smoothly, right? So we want to pick the line function again. I'll just do it by clicking over here this time. Choose line. And now notice how it keeps thinking I want to connect to things, but I don't want to connect. I want to draw a line. So now if I hold on to Control, I can start drawing a line. What I'm going to do, it's on a straight line, which is not really what I want. So I'll let go and I'll click Type and I'll choose Wavy Line. And I'm going to use this line. I'm going to click on it and I'm going to use these anchor points. So I'm going to put an anchor point there, and I'm going to put another anchor point up here. I'm going to put another anchor point here, and maybe I'm just going to move this one a little bit to make it just right, like that. And then you have a much smoother activation. You maybe move this one as well, like that. So if you don't have a pen tablet, then it's very useful to know that kind of tool when drawing smooth lines.